My name's Adiraj. I charge MedSpa's 3 to 5 grand monthly for AI reception systems I built in under 4 hours. Here is the exact process. This is the reality. Aesthetic clinics are bleeding appointments because calls hit voicemail during peak hours. Your injector is mid-treatment with a Botox client, and your front desk person stepped away for lunch. Now someone calls at 7 p.m. wanting to book a consultation for facial fillers, and they get no answer. Now they immediately dial the next med spa on Google Maps, and there you have it. That is a $500 consultation gone, and this happens 10 to 20 times daily. What's going on? I am Adiraj, and today we are assembling a fully autonomous MedSpa reception system powered by Vapi and n8n. This system intercepts every call immediately, collects essential information like what treatment they're interested in and what concerns they're looking to address, classifies urgency and treatment category, displays actual calendar availability, and confirms bookings with zero human intervention. By the end, you will have a 24/7 AI receptionist managing consultation bookings for any aesthetic practice you want to deploy this for. So let's start off by diving to Vapi. So first of all, create a new assistant by going to Assistants, create Assistant, and name this Med Spa Agent. You can keep this as blank template and then do Create Assistant. Now let's use GPT 4.1 Mini for our model, and we do this because it responds super fast, keeps your costs low, and handles aesthetic consultations without sounding too robotic. Keep this as Assistant speaks first. This is critical because we want the AI engaging immediately with something like thanks for calling, LA Aesthetics, what treatment are you interested in? Now go down to the system prompt section, delete what's in here, and go to my school community and grab the master prompt medspa file. Okay, and just paste that in here. And for our first message, which is what the AI says as soon as it picks up the call, this is in a prompt, so go ahead and let's copy paste that in here. And you can alter this to the name of your med spa or your client's med spa. Go ahead and click publish. Okay. So this prompt serves as your complete reception protocol in digital form. So it trains the AI to identify treatment categories like Botox, injectables, dermal fillers, lasers, skin rejuvenation, and essentially aesthetic consultations. It guides the AI through collecting client preferences, like which treatment interests them, what concerns they want addressed, how urgent their needs are, and even whether they are new or returning clients. It also instructs the AI super specifically on verifying calendar availability and securing consultation slots within your operating windows. Now, at this point, you already have a functional MedSpa receptionist, but it can't actually execute anything yet. So it's like having intelligence without any capability, and it's time to change that. So now we need to equip our agent with some tools. So we're going to construct 3 tools here, and before we jump into the configuration, let me clarify what each tool accomplishes and when the AI activates it. So in our prompt, we literally tell the AI what tools to call and in what order. So here's the framework. Each tool requires specific data points, and the AI determines what information belongs where by analyzing the caller's responses and following your system prompt. So visualize a standard consultation form that your receptionist completes. The AI engages with someone interested in facial rejuvenation, and when it gathers the necessary information, it recognizes, okay, I have all that I need to complete this form, and then it triggers the tool. So for our first tool, as you can see right over here, it's called Qualify Med Spa. So go over to Tools over here, click Create Tool, Custom Tool, and for our tool name, Qualify Med Spa, save, go over to JSON, and grab it from the school community. It's going to be called Master Qualify Med Spa. Okay. Go ahead and apply that, save. And so this activates when someone explains their aesthetic goals. And we need these 3 parameters, which are the treatment type, the concern area, and the urgency level. The treatment type is what treatment they're interested in. The concern area is what they want to address. It could be like fine lines, volume loss, acne scarring, skin texture, unwanted fat. Urgency level is how time sensitive it is. So high if they have an event coming up, like a marriage or something. moderate if there's a general timeline, and low if they're just exploring options. Okay. Urgency level, how time sensitive it is. So high if they have an event coming up like a marriage, moderate if it's just like a general timeline, or low if they're just exploring options. So here's how the AI understands what data fits here. Your system prompt, as we just went over, literally instructs it to ask questions like, what treatment are you considering, and what specific concerns would you like to address? When someone answers, the AI identifies the relevant information and fills out these slots. So if they say, I'm interested in Botox for the forehead lines and crow's feet, and I have a wedding in 6 weeks, the AI organizes it like, okay, treatment type, Botox, concern area, forehead lines and crow's feet, and urgency level is high because that wedding deadline is going to indicate time sensitivity. The AI processes independently because we established these fields and trained it how to act. All right, so now let's make another tool called Availability MedSpa. Go to Custom Tool, and this is basically going to trigger when someone needs to see our consultation openings. Save, toggle this to JSON, and let's go to Availability. Grab this, pretty simple and short. Apply, save. Okay, so all we need here is our search date. So what day they want a consultation. Generally, it's going to be same day. And this is going to be an ISO format. So here's the sequence so far. The AI has already gathered all the treatment preferences. Now it needs to present when you have openings. This tool queries your calendar and returns legitimate available consultation slots based on your current schedule. And your system prompt instructs the AI, after gathering these treatment preferences, check consultation availability for today, or whatever the search date is, right? The AI recognizes the qualification is finished and understands to execute this next. Okay, that's it for the Availability MedSpa. So far, we've made 2 of our 3 tools. Now for our third tool, it's for booking appointments, and it's called Book Appointment MedSpa. All right, save. This is going to fire when they confirm a time slot. JSON, school community, master, book, MedSpa. Okay. Click apply and hit save. All right. So the 3 parameters here are client name, start date time, and end date time, right? Start date time is the consultation start time, end date time is the end time, and name obviously is their name. So here's the workflow, right? The AI has shown them by this point the available consultation slots. Like I have openings at 10 a.m., 2:30 p.m., or 4 p.m. today. Now they've selected one, and now the AI processes all the required information, which is their client name. From what it's already asked, may I have your name for the appointment, the start date time, which is the slot they confirmed, and the end date time, which is that slot plus 30 minutes. And the AI executes Book Appointment MedSpa with all this data, and n8n generates this calendar entry. Now, you might ask, Adhiraj, why does all this architecture really matter? Well, grabbing how these fields auto-populate is the complete foundation. The AI is not fabricating any information whatsoever. It's simply analyzing that someone is interested in aesthetic treatments and transforming that into organized data that your system can utilize. And so you're fundamentally training it to convert I want to look younger into a structured consultation with all the context that your provider needs. And every MedSpa inquiry triggers one of these 3 tools systematically. So no, there's no improvise. It's just methodical execution based purely on conversation flow. So now we've created 3 tools. Let me walk you through how these 3 tools chain together during a live consultation request. Caller might say, hi, I've been thinking about getting fillers for my lips. They have gone thinner and thinner over the years, and I would like to restore some volume. Vapi is going to run Qualify MedSpa, and it's going to capture the treatment type, dermal fillers, a concern area parameter saying lip volume restoration, and as for the urgency level, it needs to ask that, right? So the next question will be, is there a specific time frame you're looking for this treatment? Caller's going to respond, not really, just whenever you have availability, right? Vapi has then all the information it needs, and it's going to update Qualify MedSpa with urgency level low. Then the AI is going to ask, have you been to our MedSpa before? And then the AI is going to say, perfect, let me check our consultation availability for today. And Vapi is going to run Availability MedSpa with a search date saying today's date. And it's going to retrieve the calendar, generate all possible consultation slots, which is your business's work hours, which could be 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., given those 30-minute intervals, and eliminate the book times plus the buffer times, whatever you select. And then finally, after cleaning all that, it's going to return available slots. Then the AI is going to respond back to the caller saying, okay, I have consultation openings at 10 a.m., 2:30 p.m., and 4 p.m. today. Which one works best for you? Caller is going to say 2:30 p.m. is perfect, and then Vapi is going to finally run our book appointment med spa with the client name, which was captured earlier, the start date time, and the end date time. And then n8n, our backend, is going to create the calendar event using all the qualification details, treatment type, concern area, urgency level, customer name, phone number. Vapi packages all of this, transmits to n8n, where the backend automation executes. Now we've created these three tools, but we haven't yet attached it to our agent. So go over to Assistance and click on MedSpa Agent, then go to Tools and select those three tools we just made. Hit Publish. So now we can actually leverage all those tools capabilities that we just coded up. Perfect. And so now, finally, let's assign it a phone number. Go over to Phone Numbers and create phone number over here. If you're in the US, you get 10 free phone numbers. Use an area code which is local to you. And over here, give it a name. And we want to link it now to this phone number. So go under Inbound Settings and select our Med Spa agent and hit Save. Okay. So now you have a live MedSpa reception line, and if you dial it right now, the AI is going to respond. And even though it doesn't book anything yet, since we haven't constructed out the backend, it's going to engage naturally with you, which is pretty cool. Okay. So now let's build out that backend so we can actually make use of the tools. So let's go over to n8n. So let's go over to n8n. And over here, this is going to be blank when you first open it. But don't worry, in my school community over here, there's going to be a file called master medspa. And just Command C, all the code in that file, Command V, and you'll have all of this, right? No need to do it from scratch. I've already done the work for you. Grab that from the description, okay? So this complete workflow is going to load for you in one action with a webhook, routing logic, availability checker, and confirmations already wired together, okay? Now I'm going to explain each component so you can adapt it for different practices and add features like SMS confirmations to clients or notifications for your providers. So I'm going to dive pretty deep here, and if you have any questions, just drop it down below in the comments, okay? So this webhook node is our entry point. This is where all the information enters. Every request from your AI receptionist arrives here. And when you create this webhook in n8n, you receive this URL, which is the production URL, and we want to copy this and actually attach it to our agent in Vapi. Go over here, go down to Messages, and paste that in here, right? And while we're here, go to Server Messages, just uncheck everything except for tool calls. And we do this just so n8n isn't firing off after every sentence. Right now, we only need n8n to get called when our tool needs to run, right? So that's why we did that. And at this point now, our Vapi is connected to our n8n workflow, all from that production URL I just showed you, okay? So here's what arrives every time a tool executes. It's a JSON containing these things, okay? So first of all, it has a message tool calls array, which is just Vapi packaging up the tool name and all the data that the AI has collected. Then it has a member of the tool calls array, which is the ID, which is how n8n actually communicates back to Vapi, like here's the response for that specific request. Then it has the function name, which were one of those three functions we just made earlier. And then it has the function arguments. So what the search state might have been, or what the treatment type is, etc. Finally, it has a phone number and then the artifact messages. Now, artifact messages is really important because this is the entire and complete conversation history, which is super key because we extract qualification details from earlier when booked and then creating our Google Calendar event. And so this is the foundation, right? If this fails, then everything fails. And make sure to verify that your Vapi webhook URL matches this node and configure it to post. Make sure you can adjust this to what you want, but then you need to update it in Vapi as well. And then make sure the response mode is respond to webhook because we transmit data back, okay? That's it for the webhook. Next is a switch node. This switch node basically manages the traffic flow. It's going to read which tool fired and determine where the information flows. And so here's the setup, right? There's three outputs, each with a condition, and the condition examines what function name was. So if it's availability med spa, it's going to go down the top path. If it's book appointment med spa, the booking path, and then qualify med spa, the qualification logging path, or the path at the bottom, right? So visualize it like a routing system. One webhook can activate different actions depending on the call progression, right? So the caller describes their aesthetic goals, and if the AI needs to check consultation openings, the Vapi's going to fire availability med spa. The webhook's going to intercept it, the switch is going to read it, and then send it to output 1. Now, if the caller confirms a time slot, Vapi's going to fire book appointment med spa, switch is going to send that to output 2. This is how the complete workflow understands where to direct. Now let's go over the check availability. When the AI checks availability and the switch sends it to output 1, the first action we do is get your calendar. And you can link your calendar over here. This is configured to get all, which retrieves every event in time window. The time window is from time minimum to time maximum. So if someone is requesting consultation today, this pulls all the appointments you've already scheduled for today. And a super critical setting over here, which is worth noting, is in settings, always output data is enabled. And this means that if the calendar is empty, n8n still passes valid data instead of crashing. Empty calendar just means that you are fully available. Without this setting, an empty calendar stops the entire workflow. And also, the output is an array of appointments. Each one's going to contain your start time, end time, and details. And then all of that is going to flow to our next node, which is the merge node. All right, so this merge node here combines two data sources. One is the Vapi tool call with the search date, and two is the calendar results showing what's already scheduled. You absolutely need both before generating available slots. Now, if we click in here, the merge happens by position. So item 1 from the webhook meets item 2 from the calendar, keeping everything synchronized. So why do we need both? The webhook tells us what day they want, and the calendar tells us what's already taken. The next node, which is our code node, absolutely needs both to calculate open slots. The merge is configured to combine by position, so if webhook has one item and the calendar has one item, even if it's an empty array, they become a single item with both datasets. And this is super critical, as I said before, for the next step, which is our code node. This code node is like the scheduling brain. And this is where we create potential consultation slots and filter out the ones that are already booked. Let me walk you through the logic. So the code begins by reading the webhook data. It grabs the message tool call 0, which is the tool object, extracts the tool call ID, and argues. The tool call ID matters because this is how n8n tells Vapi, here are the slots for your request, and the arguments contain the search date. Next, we need to actually load the schedule configuration, and the code defines your operating parameters in this config object right here. So you can see we have the time zone, workday start hour, end hour, the booking cadence, the meeting duration, and the buffer before and after each meeting. Feel free to customize this however you want. If you operate from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., change the workday start hour and workday end. If you want 45-minute consultation windows, change meeting duration minutes. It's your practice, so tailor it to your configuration, right? It's your practice, so tailor the configuration to you, okay? Next, we need to actually generate the potential slots. So the code takes the search date and creates slots from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in the 30-minute increments. So 8 to 8:30, 8:30 to 9, 9 to 9:30, all the way until 6 p.m. This is all the potential consultation times for that day. Next, we need to actually check what's already booked, right? And so the code examines the calendar data from merge, and it's going to pull existing appointments and add the 15-minute buffers before and after each one. So if you have a consultation 2 to 2:30, it's going to block out 1:45 to 2:45, right? Next, we're going to filter out all potential conflicts. So if a slot overlaps with any existing appointments, including buffers, it totally gets filtered out. And so what remains are genuinely clean available slots. And so then finally, what's remaining now is we need to format our response. So what does that mean, right? It converts it from ISO into something human readable, meaning that the AI can say it out loud and it'll make sense to the caller. So this is what an ISO string looks like. And imagine saying this out loud. It's not going to make sense, right? So the AI will say this out loud. And that conversion is what this code is doing, right? You want the AI to read that clean version to the client. And finally, we're going to return this object with a tool call ID, which is the ID from the original request, as well as an array of times in the human readable format, plus that ISO format I just showed earlier. Finally, this is going to flow to the next node, which is going to transmit back to Vapi, right? This is that reply with slots node, and this is just sending data back to Vapi. This respond to webhook node transmits available slots back to Vapi and formats it as JSON with the tool call ID and the slot list, right? So this is the exact format that Vapi wants, And it's key to notice that the result is a stringified JSON. Vapi wants a tool response as a string, not as a nested object. And this respond to Webhook handles this when you configure it to JSON mode, right here with expression syntax. Vapi receives this, parses available slots, and the AI will say, I have consultation openings at 10 a.m., 2:30 p.m., and 4 p.m. today. Which time is most convenient to you? Then the caller is going to confirm a time, and now we hit booking. Okay. So the next flow is the book appointment flow. And so when a caller selects a slot, the book appointment MedSpa tool runs. The switch sends it to output 2 straight to this Google Calendar node called book lead. Okay. Now it's set to create, which makes a new appointment, and you want to connect your Google Calendar here first. And here are the fields it populates, right? It has a start, end, and then summary and description. Start is just the start time from the tool call, which is the slot that they picked. End date time is also from the tool call. And summary is MedSpa appointment followed by their name. And description is where it gets interesting, right? Description is pulling data from multiple sources here. We're getting the client name from the book appointment MedSpa tool call, the phone from the webhook, the treatment type, concern, and urgency level, all from the qualified MedSpa tool, right? Now, the tricky part here was book appointment MedSpa only has the name and times. It doesn't have the treatment type, concern area, or urgency details. So where does that all come from, right? That comes from the conversation history I showed earlier, that message artifacts. The webhook includes a message.artifact.messages, which is the complete call transcript. The code searches that array, finds where the AI calls qualify MedSpa, grabs the arguments from that tool call, and extracts the qualification data. And these are the expressions that are doing that. So it searches the messages, finds qualify MedSpa call, parses the arguments, it extracts the treatment type, and it'll do the same for concern area and urgency level. And so by the time your provider sees the appointment, they already know, okay, it's 2 p.m., it's a Botox consultation for forehead lines and crow's feet with super high urgency because there's a wedding in 2 weeks. And Jennifer Martinez, 555, 1234, etc. Right? This is a massive advantage because the provider knows exactly what to prepare for and what the client is hoping to achieve, okay? Next up, we have the successful booking node, and this is just a confirmation response. It's pretty simple. This respond to webhook node sends back appointment successfully booked, and Vapi receives this, and the AI says, okay, perfect. Your consultation is confirmed for 2 p.m. today. One of our aesthetic specialists will meet with you to discuss your treatment options for lip volume restoration or whatever they wanted, right? And so then they'll say, okay, is there anything else I can help you with, right? Okay, so that's about it for our book appointment. Now, finally, our qualification successful node. If a caller just describes treatment interest but doesn't book yet, the qualify MedSpa tool runs. And so the switch will send it to output 3 and hit this respond to webhook node, which is called qualification successful. And so this is just going to log details and return. Pretty simple, lead qualification noted here. And the AI, when it gets this, might say, got all your information. Let me check what consultation times we have available today. And then it's going to run availability MedSpa next, right? This path purely exists because we want to capture all treatment and concern details first and then move to scheduling. It keeps the flow organized, okay? So that's about it. If you have any questions, then drop it down below in the comments. Now let's actually test out this agent. So go over to Vapi and find the number that we assigned it. Go to phone numbers, MedSpa agent, and have your Google Calendar open.
Thanks for calling us. This is Riley. What kind of treatment are you interested in today?
Hey man, I need a Botox between my eyebrows.
Got it. Botox for between the eyebrows. Are you looking at this more as a routine touch-up, or is there something coming up soon that makes it?
Yeah, man, my 50th birthday is coming up.
Happy early birthday, by the way. Sister will create a plan to have you looking fantastic for your big day. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
And time is best for you to come in.
Yeah, could we do tomorrow at 10 a.m.?
Is wide open. Want me to book you in for that slot?
Yeah, let's do it.
And what's your full name for the appointment?
My name's Adiraj.
focusing on the area between you. Does that sound right?
Sounds good, man.
I'll see you at the scheduled time, and take care of everything. We'll send you a confirmation text and give you a call if we need any extra info before your appointment. Looking forward to helping you. Looking to feel.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Riley.
You're very welcome. Can't wait to see you on Friday. Otherwise, take care. Until then.
Okay, bye-bye. All right. So it booked the appointment perfectly, and this is real, right? Aesthetic practices are missing consultation requests constantly. The front desk is with another client, or it's evening hours and no one's answering the phones, or they're assisting during treatment. That missed ring is $500 vanishing to whoever responds next. And in aesthetics, first contact usually secures the booking. Now, your AI we just built together literally responds 24/7 instantly, leading to zero missed inquiries ever, even at 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 2 a.m., 4 a.m. It qualifies interest, it distinguishes genuine consultation requests versus spam calls, even captures the critical details like treatment interest, concern areas, urgency level, client history, books consultations automatically, and displays actual available times from your calendar. So no double booking, no scheduling conflicts, and it creates these calendar entries with comprehensive details attached. So aesthetic inquiries happen anytime, so this needs to operate and does operate 24/7. This solves a massively expensive problem for small and medium med spas. The setup cost is basically nothing versus hiring a full-time receptionist. So this is your complete AI med spa receptionist with Vapi handling the calls, n8n processing the logic, and Google Calendar managing the consultations. If you want the full workflow JSON, the system prompt file, the tool configurations, and other industries like HVAC, plumbing, roofing, and towing, it's all inside my school community. So download the files, clone the workflows, and launch a working demo today. The link is in the description. Drop a comment telling me what industry you want me to tackle next, and I'll see you in the next one.